Hi, this is Dan Truax, founder of RVista, and today I'm going to walk you through how to use RVista to create a simple trip as well as show you a few other features. I'm very happy that today I'm going to be using RVista version 3, which we just recently launched, and we've made some major improvements and added some really cool features that our users have been asking about. Quick note up front, I'm going to be doing most of this demo on our web version in our browser, but our mobile works exactly the same way, and at the end of the video I will switch over to mobile to show you that as well as show you the GPS features. Okay, we're going to start here. This is our home page of RVista, and you can see our logo in the top left, and then if I start to scroll down here you can see we've got a start to journey feature, which I'm going to come back to in a moment. We've got some, I've got an in progress trip here, an upcoming trip. If I scroll on down, you'll see I have top destinations. Those are destinations that are curated by our team. And then I have user favorites. User favorites are favorites of other users of RVista, so you can see what other folks like yourself like. If I go back up to the top, you'll see I have a menu in the top center. I have Explore, which would simply take me to a map view and let me start searching for and finding things. I have Favorites, which is really cool because it allows you to favorite any resort, any interest you want. And you can see that we have a few here on my account. I then have the My Trips tab. And you can see that's where I have in progress trips, upcoming trips. I have archived trips. This is where all of my trips past and present are stored. I have a create trip button, which I'm going to come back to in a moment. And then if I click the top right icon, that is how I can get to my profile as well as manage subscription. Profile is incredibly important because it's not only where I have all of my personal information, but it's where I set my default preferences for filters. It's where I input my RV vehicles. In this case, you can see we have an Integra Anthem, and this is how RVista knows when you're planning a trip RV safe, because this is where you would input your dimensions, your weight, all of that information. The other thing that's important here that I'll jump down to is the Help Center. The Help Center not only has an FAQ, not only has what's new in the current release, but it has a how-to video section that we're adding to regularly that'll help you if you forget to do specific things. These are just very short 2-minute videos that'll let you jump in and out and actually remember or learn new things. Okay, so we're going to get to the meat of this, and I'm going to go into create a trip. And what you're going to notice here is this puts us into the create trip workflow. And the first thing RVista does is it identifies where we're at. So you can actually see the starting point. You can see an address there. For today's purpose, I'm actually going to show you, I'm going to zoom in to the pin where I'm currently at. I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can select starting points, destinations, as well as just stays along the way. So if I zoom all the way in here to kind of where I'm at here, you're going to see that I'm at Sunnybrook RV Resort, and you can now see the icon. You can see that it's platinum, which means this is a luxury resort that I'm currently at. And you can see now if I click on it, it puts it at the starting point as well as gives me a little preview card. I can click on the preview card here and I can get into our details of that resort. You can see the very rich imagery that we have. I could click on all the photos if I want. You can see the description. It's important to note that we hand curate every one of these resorts in our system so that we can make sure we have the right data and that our images are very nice. I could click on amenities. I could click on contacts, which is the information for the campground. I could click on clubs and membership. If this were like a KOA or 1,000 Trails, it would show here. You can also see at the top, I can see that you can see the dollar signs and you can see that it's luxury. For this point, I'm just creating the trip, so I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to get into my destination. For the purposes of this, I kind of know where I want to go. I'm going to create this trip to go to Nature RV Resort in Wisconsin. And because I know that, I'm actually going to go ahead and type it. I'm going to type Nature RV. And if I look at that, you can see, and this is really important, there are 3 tabs in my search results. There's one called Stays, one called Interests, and one called Other Locations. You're going to see these 3 tabs anywhere you search for things within RVista. The Stays tab is specific to campgrounds and resorts. You can see the resort I'm actually looking for. Interests, we harvest these or pull these all from Google. So this is anything in Google that is a Google place that has nature RV in the text. And then you could see other locations, and you can see anything that that is related to that. The important part here is you can not, as you can see, you can not only pick any campgrounds, you can not only pick Google places, but under other locations, I could type any street address in the country. It could be your home, it could be your friend's house, it could be it could be an address of anything that you could find on Google, and it will show up it could be the name of a town or a city. It could be Nashville, it could be Seattle, it could be anything, and it will find it either on interests or other locations. For the purpose of this, I'm going to choose Nature RV Resort because that's where we said we wanted to go. Right, I'm going to go ahead and click Next. And now the next step in the workflow is basic information. The trip name, I'm going to say something simple like Trip to Nature RV Resort. I am going to go ahead and start this on June 1st. This is an upcoming trip. I'm going to click Next. And now this, you can see the vehicles here. I have one vehicle in here. If I had multiple vehicles, I could choose which one. And if I had no vehicles in my profile yet, I could enter in the dimensions manually, as you can see here. For the purpose of this, I'm going to click the vehicle that we have. I'm going to click Next. And now I'm in routing and driving settings. These are where you can see very normal map things like you can avoid tolls, you can avoid ferries, you can avoid all those things. And then you can go down to driving time estimates, and you can pick between average driving speed and routing engine estimate. I always use routing engine estimate because in addition to the speed and the number of hours, it's going to take into account speed limits. And so I'm going to leave it selected there by default. For speed, I'm just going to choose 55. And for number of hours, I'm going to pick 6. In a moment, you're going to see how this comes into play because this is actually what is going to determine how big your driving radius circle is. And this is to give you an approximate distance that you might want to drive in a day, but we're still going to check our distances as we go along. But this is it's a good starting point for us. So I'm going to click Next. Then I can enter in any additional trip details that I want here. This is just a comments field, and I'm going to click Create Trip. Like any map system, what you see, the next thing that we do here is our Vista map system is going to come up and give you at least 1 or 2 routes to start with. You know, what you're going to find that I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to deviate from this because for the purpose of this trip, we're going to go up to northern Michigan through the Upper Peninsula. So it really doesn't matter which one I choose because our route is going to be shaped actually by the stays and interests that we choose along the way. So for the purpose of this, I'm just going to save this one. And now you can see that, that it has saved the trip. And if you look over to the left, the first thing to notice is the menu on the left. This is all of our stays and stops. So you can see I've put in Sunnybrook RV Resort, and as a destination I've put in Nature RV Resort. You can see that the total trip right now estimates at 511 miles, but that's based again on the current route that I've picked. You can see the hours, and you can see that I haven't put any stops in yet. If I go up to the trip overview, this is if you wanted to edit the name of the trip, or you wanted to change vehicles, or you wanted to change your routing and driving settings, or anything here that you've already put on when you were creating the trip. The other thing that's cool here is if I click this little icon here, I can easily hide this and show it again. And this just lets me get more screen real estate if I want my map to be bigger. Next thing is across the top, we have our search where we can search for anything. And then these boxes here, these are what we call our quick filters. So these are the filters that our users use the most. And so they're just easily accessible to you to turn on and off. In the button up to the right, you can see now this is actually filters. If I click this, this is our full set of filters. These are all of the same filters that I showed you in profile. You have access to change all of them. If I had changed any of my default filters in my profile, you would see those changes here. And so I could scroll down all of our filters, and I'm going to come back to this in a moment because we're going to use those. And then in the top right here, this menu, this is just our main menu while you're in map view. This lets you go back to the home page of RVista. You can see your favorites. You can go back to your My Trips. You can get into your profile. So this is just our main menu when we are in map view. Very important on the bottom right of the screen are these map buttons. And as I hover over them, you're going to see the first one is actual campgrounds and resorts. This is commercial campgrounds and resorts, so they're private. I can turn this on and off and you can see what it does on the map. I'm going to leave it off for just a moment. The next button down is public lands and parks. This is your national parks, your state parks, your military, your BLM, your Corps of Engineers. All of those would be here. I can turn that on and off as well. And then the next one down, also super important, is interests. Interests would be whether your fuel stops, they would be your golf courses, anything that you want to do, all the activities and interests that you want to add to your trip along the way. And again, I can turn those on and off as well. The next button down, these are our map layers. These are things you would expect to see on any map, like your streets view, your navigation, your satellite. We have added a lot of weather layers in ours, so you can do radar, wind speed, wildfires are in here, as well as temperature. If I keep scrolling down, you can see there is a map icon legend. This is really important because this shows you what our icons mean. And so you can see, for example, here that we've used different color icons, whether they're overnight stays. And for us, overnight means, hey, it's right by the highway. We can pull in and out. Most of them are pull through, so that most of them have pull through, so you wouldn't have to unhook if you were towing, so on and so forth. Then we have our standard stays. And then we have worked to put upscale and luxury in here with special icons. And we'll show that in a moment. And then public lands and parks, which I mentioned, all your national parks, state parks, etc. And then all your Google places are in here as well. It shows you what these mean, from attractions to culture to free stays, and I'll show that will be like Walmart or Cracker Barrel as an example. Health and wellness, these would be hospitals, so on and so forth. So that is the menu there. For the purpose of our trip now, I'm going to turn back on campgrounds. And you're going to see one of the big changes that we made in RVista 3.0 that we're incredibly excited about. We talked to a lot of you at RV shows trying to determine the best way and how to load things on the map so that you get everything at your fingertips very quickly for planning your trip. And so what we determined was the best way to do this was to preload all of the stays and interests that are along the route that you've selected. And then what you can see on the rest of the screen are we've implemented clustering so that we keep your screen cleaner, but as you start to zoom in, you can see these clusters break apart, and as you get closer and closer, they turn into the actual stays and interests themselves. For the purpose of this, as I mentioned, we're going to add our first stop. And what I'm going to do is click on our starting point at Sunnybrook in Michigan. You can see that shows me the preview card. It also, as you can see, shows me the driving radius based on the speed and number of hours that I put in. And for the purpose of this, I'm going to start zooming in to northern Michigan because I want to stay close to Mackinac Island. And you can see as I click in here and zoom, it starts to show me the campgrounds. And you can see, for example, that there are some green tents, which are our standard resorts, and then there are a couple of KOAs. My wife Melissa and I, we like to stay at this KOA. We've been there before. It's really close to Mackinac Island, really easy to get the ferry. And so I'm going to click on this, and you can see there's Mackinac Island. You can see if I show you here that it's standard. It's 286 miles away from the starting point that I have highlighted, so from the center of my driving radius. And then you can see that it has $3 signs. If you don't remember or you ever forget what the dollar signs mean, if I just go up to the quick filter, you can see right there we have the prices next to the number of dollar signs. So this means it's between $70 and $90 per night at that resort. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to our trip. I am going to make this 3 nights. I'm not going to put any details for booking or fixed dates or anything like that, or any expenses, because I haven't booked this yet. And I'm just going to hit next. And now RVista is going to ask me, add this stop after where? Because I may have you're going to see I could have a lot of stops in here. So it wants to know, where do you want to put this? And so we're going to add this. This is our first stop. We're going to add this right after Sunnybrook. And now what you're going to see is it's going to, on the left now, it added our first stop with the number 1. The other thing you're going to see if I click view entire trip and it shows me the whole route is it has now changed my route. So instead of now going around the bottom of Lake Michigan and up through into Wisconsin. Now we're taking the route that we really want to go, which is up through the Upper Peninsula. And if you notice on the left, our mileage has changed, the hours have changed, and now we have one stop. So now if I click on here, if I click on the number 1, that's going to reset my driving radius. So now I'm saying, oh, you know what? Based on my radius, I can easily get to my final destination in a single day. So this would essentially just be a 2 driving day trip for us. But one of the important things that I want to show you, because we get asked this a lot, is, hey, how do I change my destination, or can I add stops after my destination? So that's what I'm going to show you now. So let's actually go in here, and if I click on my final destination, you can see it resets my driving radius now from my final destination. And I want to actually go down around Chicago. Melissa and I have our grandkids in Chicago, and we want to go see them. And so that's what I'm going to do. The other thing I'm going to show you, just to use the filters here, is I'm going to go up to the filters. I'm going to scroll down to clubs and memberships. And you can see this is where I could filter on all of the memberships that you're familiar with. KOA, Good Sam, Sun Outdoors. And so for this one, I'm actually going to click that 1,000 Trails. And so as soon as I do that and hit show results, now the map is only showing me 1,000 Trail resorts anywhere in the country. For the purpose of this, I'm looking for one as close to Chicago as I can get. I'm going to use 1,000 Trails because we have a membership, and I'm going to click on this. And you can see here, this is 1,000 Trails Pine Country. You know what? This is great. This is where we want to stay. So for right now, I'm just going to add this to the trip. And it's going to be our new destination, so I'm not really worried about the number of nights right now. I'm going to click Next. And here's the important part. I'm going to add this after Nature RV. I'm going to click that stop. It's going to ask me, do you want to update your final destination? Are you sure? Did you do this on purpose? Yep, we did this on purpose, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And now you can see on the left, 1,000 Trails is our new destination. And now I could go into Nature RV Resort if I want and change the number of nights, because once I change that destination, it defaults to 1 night. I'm not going to worry about that right now for the purpose of this. I also know after Chicago, we want to come home. So I'm actually going to go ahead in the search bar and click Sunnybrook. Whoop. And what you're going to notice here is we know Sunnybrook exists, but there are no stays. Well, I showed you that on purpose because what's happening here is you have to remember, once you set your filters to something, it's only going to show you those things that are in your filters. So for this purpose of this, now I've put 1,000 Trails on, so it's only showing me that. So I'm actually going to clear that, show results, and now everything comes back. Now my stays, I can see Sunnybrook Resort. I want to add this to my trip. I'm going to add it after my destination. So I'm going to make this my new final destination. Yes, I want to set that as my destination. And now you can see if I click view entire trip, I have a very nice round trip there. I'm going to show you 2 final things here before we switch to mobile that are super cool. One is we had a lot of requests for people that wanted to be able to add their fuel stops as part of their actual trip, and they wanted to see them over here in their menu so that they could see the mileage. And so what we've implemented here, and I'm going to show you, first I'm going to go in here, I'm going to go down to into my filters, I'm going to go down to my interests, and I'm going to pick vehicle care and maintenance, and I'm going to select truck stop. We have a diesel pusher, so we want to see truck stops. I'm going to turn off my campgrounds and resorts, and I'm going to turn on my interests, and now the only thing showing up on the map are truck stops. I see here right before stop number 3, there's a fuel stop there. That would be a great time for us to stop. Oh, it looks like it's a Love's. We love Love's. We have the rewards card, so I'm going to add this to the trip. The cool thing here is now it's going to ask me, do you want to add this as to an existing stop, or do you want to add this as a custom stop? I'm going to add this one as a custom stop. I'm going to change my number of nights to 0 because we're not staying there. I'm going to click next, and I'm going to add this right after stop 2. And now what you're going to see over on the left is that I have a 0-night Love's Travel stop right after Nature's RV Resort and right before our Chicago stop. And if I turn those interests off, you can see how it added that. Super, super cool. You can use that not only to put fuel stops, but if you wanted to shape your route, like if you knew you wanted to drive through a specific city or by a specific landmark, you can add those as 0 night stay and it'll shape your route. You can add those for fuel stops. You can add those for whatever you want, and it's not going to add nights to your stay, which is very cool. The last thing I'm going to show you on the map here is I'm going to clear all these results. And Melissa and I know we want to take our grandkids to a museum when we are in Chicago. So I'm actually going to scroll down to interests. And now I'm going to go to culture. And I'm just going to turn on museums. And I'm going to hit show results. And now I'm going to turn interests. First, I'm going to clear my search up here with Sunnybrook. I am going to now turn my interests back on. And now you can see all of the museums on the screen. And I'm going to scroll into Chicago because our grandson Leo loves the museum in Chicago that has the dinosaurs. So as I scroll in here, I kind of know where that one's at. And if I click this, you can see Field Museum. That's the one I want. I could go into view details. This is going to show me all the details we have. I could open that right in Google Maps if I want. But for the purpose of this, I'm actually just going to add this to a trip. And unlike the fuel stop, I'm going to add this to an existing stop. And you're going to see what we do here. So now I'm going to add this to our 1,000 Trails, which is our Chicago stop. And once I do that and click Add Trip, what you're going to see now is on stop number 4, we are staying at 1,000 Trails, but we've also nested an interest under here because this is what we want to do. We put these on here because this really helps you build your whole itinerary of the things that you want to do along the way and at every stop that you take. You can add these things. The other cool thing is once I'm in the mobile version of this, I can now use my GPS to drive. And so now what I'm going to do that I've done that is I'm actually going to go back to the home page, and you are going to see, I am also getting my mobile ready right here. You are going to see that now if I scroll down to upcoming trips, this trip we added, Trip to Nature, is now an upcoming trip. So now I have Wisconsin that I had there, and I have Trip to Nature. If I had more than that, you would see a little arrow like you do down here, and I could actually just scroll across. And the last thing I am going to show you is what this looks like on mobile. So I'm going to move this screen down, and I'm going to bring my mobile over. And this is, I'm projecting one of our Android phones to the screen here so you can see it. So this is an actual Android Google Pixel 9 phone, and I'm going to launch our Vista on it. And what you're going to see is, I'm going to skip all the updates here because we just released it. So now what you can see is the same trips are there. Integra Homecoming is still there. Trip to Nature is there. And if I swipe over, you can see Wisconsin is there. So Trip to Nature, this is the one that we just did. So I'm going to launch that. And now you can see the same exact trip that we had on our web. Now you see it on the mobile. Works the same on iPhone, works the same on Android. And you can do anything on your phone here that you can do on your web browser, which is super cool. We are mobile first. If I swipe up here, you can actually see all the information on all the stops that we did. So again, anything that you can see we do, but what I'm going to show you here now is, let's say it's June 1st and it's time to go. We're at Sunnybrook and now I want to drive. So I'm going to show you, if I click on these 3 little dots beside Mackinac City, which is our first stop, it's going to bring up another menu that lets me view the details, lets me delete the stop if I want. But really what I'm going to do is I want to drive. So I'm going to go ahead and click drive. And now you're going to see this fires up our GPS, which by the way, we have majorly upgraded in 3.0 as well. And I could click on view entire drive. You can see now that is my route. You can see I'm in GPS mode, and I am ready to travel. And so with that, I hope this was useful to you. We're very excited about the new features of our Vista, and we hope you are too. And so I hope you get a lot out of this, and always feel free to reach out to us at info@rvista.com if you have any problems, if you have any suggestions. You can also follow us and subscribe on YouTube. This is where we host all of the videos like this and many more, like the RV resorts that we do reviews of. All of our travels are on our YouTube channel, and you can find that under our Vista as well. So We will look forward to seeing you again soon, and in the meantime, we wish you safe travels.